Hi everybody! When I was about 11 or 12 years old, I remember being outside at a backyard summer picnic, and actually there are three things that I remember from this picnic. The first is that there were thunderstorms in the area, and we were all standing under a big tent with metal poles, so I remember that being a concern. The second thing that I remember, a little kind of embarrassing, funny story, is that the adults were all kind of in the yard eating and drinking and talking and stuff, and the kids were in the pool. And so I was over in the pool area, of course, and this is as it's starting to get dark out, and I was on the diving board and I was dancing just to entertain the kids, and I was doing really well. I think I was really killing. And then at one point I kind of looked over and I noticed that all of the adults were staring at me because it turned out like the spotlights on the house were kind of aimed in such a way that they lit up the pool and the diving board. So as it got dark, I was kind of highlighted, and they all noticed my dancing. So I think I quickly jumped in the water from there. But the third thing that I remember from this picnic is that for the first time, I think, in my life, and I don't think I've done it since, I had barbecued corn on the cob, and it was really good. And I was thinking about it recently, and I thought, you know what, why don't I just try to recreate it myself? So I went online and I looked up a few recipes on how to grill corn on the cob, and I took bits and pieces from each of them to try to recreate what I remember. So what we're going to use for this is we're going to use just one ear of corn, some chives, garlic, some unknown spice, some seeds. I think they're mustard seeds. Some sort of cilantro paste, some basil paste, some soft margarine, chili powder, and cayenne pepper, and garlic. Did I say garlic? I don't know. So here's what we're going to do. The first thing that we want to do is prep the corn. We want to soften it a bit. So there are a few ways that you can grill corn on the cob. You can do it with the husk fully on. You can peel away the outer husk but keep the inner husk on when you put it on the grill, or you can take off the husk completely and just grill it bare. I'm going to do the kind of the second middle of the road method there, and I'm going to peel off the outer husk but leave the inner husk intact. But we are going to take out all of the silk. So we're going to go ahead and start by peeling off the outer husk here. Okay, I have the outer husk peeled off, so now I'm going to carefully peel back the rest of the husk without taking it off and get rid of the silk. The silk has now been removed, so I'm going to carefully put this husk back on here. Alright, and now the next thing we want to do is to soften up the corn a bit. We're going to soak it in water for 20 minutes. Place it in the water. It floats. We're going to set this off to the side. And as we're waiting for the corn to soak, I'll go ahead and prepare some herbal butter. So this is something that I read that you can add to the corn as kind of something to baste it with when you do the barbecue. And so I figured, hey, why not try to make my own? So I got some soft margarine here and some herbs and spices, and we're just going to try and mix it up and see how it tastes. I'll take some margarine first and put this in the bowl. I'm not really sure how much I need, so that's probably more than enough there. Alright, so let's start with the herbs first. So the hardest thing will be the chives, because I actually got some fresh chives here. They're not prepared like some of this paste stuff that I found. So I'm going to have to open... Oh boy. Okay, we lost a few chives to the floor. Oh, you can smell them already. Anyway, I'm going to take some of these and try to chop them up as finely as I can. And of course, I'm going to rinse them. I'm going to go ahead and use the largest knife that I have here and see if that helps. That was actually a lot easier than I thought. Usually it takes me forever to cut something, but I think this only took like a minute. So I'll take these chives here and add them to the margarine. I think my proportions might be a little off. I think I have a lot of chives here. Let's see how this mixes. Now, while I was looking for herbs, I actually found that some of them came in tube form, and I figured, you know what, since it usually takes me a while to cut stuff, and I'm not really good with like loose items at the grocery store that's not in a package, because I'm like, well, what if I get to the checkout thing and I forget what it's called, and there's no barcode on it or anything, and like, do you have to take a whole like plant, or can you take little bits and pieces and weigh it? And I don't know like kind of all the rules behind it. So when I see something that's packaged up like this, I'm like, okay, yes, thank you. So right here we have cilantro herb blend. And I don't even remember what cilantro tastes like. I know that some people like it and some people hate it. I don't think I've ever realized that I hate it, so I must be one of those people who like it. So I got it. And so I'm going to take this tube here. We're just going to squeeze it in. Just like toothpaste. And for our second tube, I have some basil. I think my mom actually grows basil in her kitchen. Smells like pizza if it has basil on it. Alright, so now we have some green margarine here. Tastes pretty good. Let's kick it up a notch though with some garlic. I'll use 2 cloves. And press the garlic in with a garlic press. This smells pretty good, and I tend to like strong flavors. Okay, so now for some spices. Got some chili powder here. Never used chili powder before. I don't know how much I'm supposed to use. Just tap some in here. Okay, it's not overwhelming, so I'm going to add a little more. This tastes like everything. Next, I'm going to take some cayenne pepper. This seems to have a bit more of a bite to it. So I'm not going to add as much. We'll just start with that. Okay, now I am going to add some, I think these are mustard seeds, and I've never known what to do with them, but I figured now would be a good time to try it out. So, done. And I also have some unknown spice. Doesn't seem very strong. Oh, and a last minute ingredient. I'm going to grab some onion salt because I know I have some. All right. Okay, so we have our, I guess we'll call it our baste is ready. And the corn has been soaking for about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out of the pot. Okay, so I've taken the corn out of the water and rinsed it off. And what we're going to do now is peel back this inner husk, just very carefully and not pull it all the way off because we'll put it back on before doing the grilling. And so what I'm doing here is just pulling this back. And then take a butter knife, and we're going to dip in here. Just really coat this. Get it nice and flavorful. Now what I'm going to do here as I turn this over is on the parts that have already been basted, I'm going to replace the husk so it can just rest on that on the cutting board. Now I don't know if I'm being a little too heavy on the margarine mix here, but I tend to like a lot of, on a salad I like a lot of dressing. I always like a lot of ketchup on meat or barbecue sauce or butter on corn, so that's just me. And I think that this might also kind of burn off or melt or come off anyway, so I'm going to just see if we can get it to soak in as much as possible. Now we have the ear of corn with the inner husk carefully replaced and the flavored butter inside. And so the next step is to put it on the grill. I don't have a grill. Chicken in kitchen.